Hi everybody, my name is Bhavishya, and in this lecture we will see the lab of what we have learned in the previous theory class. So the concept we learned in the previous theory class was whenever a network summary LSA is given to an ABR, before forwarding it to the corresponding area, it rewrites the originating ID or router ID, or we can say advertiser router by its own router ID. So we'll see the lab how it works. So we have this topology, and here we have two ABRs, router 2 and router 3. Right. The topology is self-explanatory. So let's forward to the lab. So I've already given the essential configurations. I'll just go and give the OSPF commands for all the routers. So as you can see here, the configuration is already there. So now I'll configure OSPF. Okay, so here for R1, for R4, area 1, for suppose R5, area 2, for R6, area 2, for R2, first is 12, area 1. After that, 14, area 1. After that, 23 for our area C. 23.0.0. Great. Oh, yes, we did a mistake here. As you can see, it is loading from the distance is getting changed from loading to foot, right? Similarly for R. Now 23, right? Area 0. Right? Yes. Now we'll go for R3. 23 network for area 0. As well as area 2, network 35. Network 36. And yes, now we are done with the configurations. I'll start it loading for router 5 and router 6. Now, the question is, when we'll check show IP OSPF database, how many type 1 LSA will R1 generate? I'm asking about type 1. So the type 1 will be 3, R1, R2 and R4. Right, next question. How many type 3 LSA will R1 have? It's LSDB type 2 network summary LSA, right? So the answer is 3, 23, 35 and 36. So let us see. Show IP OSPF. Here as you can see, router LSA R1, R2, R4, right? Network summary LSA 23, 35 and 36, right? And as you can see, who is the originating ID? R2. This is the important aspect that you understand in a bit. After that, if I go and check in R6, show IP OSP database. So how many network summary LSA will R6 have in its LSTB? Answer is 3, 23, 12 and 14, right? And here if you'll see, the originating ID is 3.3.3.3, which is R3's router ID. But if you look at it, R2 was the one who generated for 12 and 14. So how this happened? So as we have learned in the previous lecture, that whenever an ABR receives in type 3 LSA, it changes before forwarding it to the corresponding area, it changes its originating ID or router ID by its own. So R3 changed R2's router ID by its own before introducing it to area 2, right? Yes. Now we'll go to R2. Show IP OSP database. Here, how many area will we encounter? So you're talking about R2, which is an ABR. So it will have two areas, area 1 and area 0. Right. After that, how many type 1 LSA will it will have for area 1? For area 1, it will have 3 type 1 LSA, R1, R2 and R4. Now, how many router LSA it will have for area 0? For area 0, it will have 2 router LSA, R2 and R3. Right. Now, the next question. How many type 2 LSA or network summary LSA will R2 have for area 1? For area 1, it will have 3, 23, 35 and 36. For area 0, and this is the important one. For area 0, how many network summary LSA will R2 have? For area 0, it will have 4 network summary LSA, 12, 14, 35 and 36. And the most interesting part here is for area 0. Most interesting part is 12 and 14 is generated by R2, as you can see by the router ID, and 35 and 36 is generated by R3, as you can see in their router IDs or advertising router. Right? Yes. Similarly, if we'll go to R3, show IP OSP database. Similarly, for area 0, we have this with its corresponding router ID. Router ID is the one who generated it, like this and this. But if you look for R2, we'll have 3, right? Yes, we have 12, 14 and 23, right? Yes. Generated by who? R3, as R3 has overwrite its own router ID on this R2's router ID for this. So I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.